Hi guys, it's Beth, and today I have a really quick and easy Christmas decor DIY using paper from this Pine Street square pad from the Paper Studio. That's one of my current Kilopad projects, and some wooden triangles. And these are just simple wooden triangles that I happened to run across in our barn when I was looking for something else earlier in the fall, and thought I'm sure I could come up with some use for these during my Christmas pad projects. So you can use whatever tree shape you can find. I'm sure the craft stores have them, and I know some people have found them earlier in the season at like the Dollar Tree or Dollar General. But these are what I happen to have on hand, and I have 3 of these little ones which measure about 2 1/4 inches wide at the base and then 5 1/4 inches tall. And then I have some bigger ones, which is kind of hard to see in my frame, but they are 11 1/2 inches tall and 5 1/2 inches wide at the bottom. So to make these, all I used were my wood, my tree shape, patterned paper, which again is from the Pine Street square pad that I love, some Mod Podge, a foam brush for my Mod Podge, scissors or a trimmer, and a writing utensil of some sort, a squeegee, and then I used some sandpaper. So let's get started. And I actually had my 5-year-old helped me out because I was running short on time last week, and she went through and she painted all of the sides for me because I just wanted something on them so it wasn't just the plain wood. So she did some painting for me. That was a big help. So the first step will be to trace your tree shape, you know, whether it's an actual shape of a pine tree or just a simple triangle, to trace it onto your paper. And you want to get as close to the edges as you can, and then make your lines nice and dark so that you can see them when you go to cut it out. Okay, and you can use your trimmer or scissors. Then you just want to make sure you kind of cut just on the inside of your line so that you don't have that line showing on your tree. And I was actually able to get 3 large triangles plus a couple of small triangles out of each sheet of 12 by 12 paper. And so I have 3 of the large triangles and 3 of the small, and I maybe used 1 1/2 sheets of paper. So especially if you can find your tree shape relatively inexpensively, all your other materials, you know, the amount that you would use on this project would be pretty inexpensive. So this could be a very budget-friendly, frugal Christmas decoration. So next we are going to put that on we're going to put our paper on our tree, and I just used wax paper to protect my surface. And I always start with my wood, put the Mod Podge directly on the wood first, and then I do my paper, and you just want to make sure you get everything, some good coverage. And then line it up as best you can. And I'm not worried so much if there's overhang of paper, like on the side of my wood, or if there's wood showing, because I'm going to come back in with some sandpaper at the end anyway to distress. So you want to make sure you hold it in place, and then use your squeegee to push it down real good. Make sure there's going to be no bubbles. Get rid of that. And so you can see there's a couple places where like I do have a little bit of overhang of paper. So I'm just going to kind of use my squeegee to help fold that over, to press it down on the sides. I want to make sure it's all smooth down really good. And then you want to set that aside to let it dry. Now I went through and did all of my other ones together. And so I did all one side and then came back and started from the beginning doing the other side. So that did it like a little bit of a, can't think of the word, the process, assembly line process, thank you. And that kind of gave each side some time to dry before I moved on to the other side or to the next step. Because what I would do next, once this has some time to dry, like this side I did earlier, and so I will go ahead and do the next step on this side, is I will come in with my sandpaper and I want to either get rid of the overhang or blend in the paper with the wood. And I also wanted a little bit of a distressed edge, so just as quick as that, you can get, depending on how clean your edges are, you can get a little bit of distressed look to it. And that's totally up to you. You don't have to do that. It was just a way, like I said, one for me, there's some dust floating around, one for me to get the distressed look that I wanted, but then also to clean up the edges if I had like overhang of paper, to get rid of the excess paper. So I will also, on all of my other ones, I took my sandpaper and went over the sides that were painted just to knock off some of that shine of the paint and to distress them as well so they fit with the rest of my blocks. Now you don't have to make yours double-sided. Obviously it depends on what tree shape you're using. I wanted mine double-sided because one of the places I'm thinking about putting them is there's a half wall that a ledge on a half wall that divides our kitchen from our living room, and I don't have anything there right now, and I was thinking that some of these might be cute there, and that way you can see decoration from either room. So if you're only doing one side, depending on the size and shape of your tree, then you'd probably use less paper than I did as well. Once your Mod Podge is dry and you've done your sanding, if you're going to do that, especially if you've done the sanding, you need to come through and wipe it with a good dust rag just to get any of that sanding dust off. But then you want to come back with your Mod Podge and do another coat or two. I would recommend 2 coats to seal your paper down really well and protect your project. If you guys decide to make this, if you're still decorating for Christmas when it's less than a week and a half away, like I am, because that's how I roll, I would love to see how you guys use this project. It's also a great way to use up some of that Christmas paper in your stash. So you can share your project with me on Instagram by tagging @BourbonCreekCrafts, or you can email me at bourboncreekcrafts@gmail.com. Because like I said, I'd love to see how you use this project. Hopefully you liked this idea. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. And I thank you guys for your time today. I hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday season. And until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your week.